I, 24F, live with my boyfriend, 25 male, in a 2-bedroom apartment in a major city. However, we have been fighting for almost a week because of a decision I made spitefully, and therefore, I may be TA. It's a small apartment, impossible to avoid him for much longer, so I really need a third-party opinion on the matter. For some background, we've been officially dating since we moved in together 2 years ago when I graduated from uni, but we were hooking up for about a year before then. During that year we weren't together. My BF, let's call him Sam, and his best friend, let's call him Max, were living together in this house. Max, 27M, has been my BF's friend for years and is basically like an older brother to him. We've never really gotten along, but please believe me, I have tried. It's just that Max never seems interested in getting to know me, or at worst gets genuinely annoyed by me interacting with him. Sam thinks it's probably the age difference, me being 24 and him being 27, that makes him not very interested in getting to know me, but I think that if he can get on with Sam despite the 2-year age gap, then what's the problem with getting on with his girlfriend, age gap aside? Anyway, it's besides the point, but I think pretty relevant for the actual argument. Basically, Max recently broke up with his girlfriend, and since he was living with her, she, rightfully, kicked him out. Now before you ask, no, I have no idea why he thought that he would still have somewhere to live after telling his landlady with benefits that he wasn't sexually attracted to her anymore, but I digress. Now Max is homeless and is asked to stay with Sam. And yes, if you're wondering, I also live here and pay for rent and utilities, an equal amount to Sam, but I suppose Max only wanted to ask the person whose name is on the lease? All this aside, Sam doesn't want Max to come and live with us again, which works for me because I wouldn't particularly like to live with a guy who doesn't deign to speak to me living here either. I think Sam doesn't want him living here because he used to be a bit of a slob when they lived together, his words not mine, but I would imagine he also doesn't want another person in a small apartment. However, Sam clearly lacks the spine to say any of this to his friends, so who does he use as an excuse? Yeah. Me. Apparently he told Max how he would love for him to come and live with him again, like in the good old days, but his stupid girlfriend won't let it happen. Now I could live with this if Max could act like an adult about it, but he's now started blowing up my phone with texts, calling me a bitch, calling me jealous, literally just random insults that don't even address the main issue. And before you ask, they're so specifically cruel that I am afraid if I copy and paste them in here that it will instantly become obvious who I am. I've shown them to Sam, but he told me just to ignore them and just do him a favor. He argued that since Max and I already don't like each other, there's no harm in letting me take the fall for this decision. This is where I might be the asshole, because on day 10 of receiving abusive messages from Max, instead of ignoring him or blocking him, I just told him the truth. It was late at night and I was tired and slightly tipsy from a bottle of wine, and Sam was out with Max, still enjoying his friendship despite the horrible things his friend was saying to his girlfriend. So yes, before you ask, I was feeling vengeful, and I think a lot of me did it out of spite. To be honest, the worst part is Max didn't believe me, and if anything it only made him angrier at me. So in a way the only thing I succeeded at doing was breaking my promise to Sam not to tell him, simply because I let Max get in my head. After I sent the message I got a call from Sam but ignored it, going to bed. When I woke up, I assume a couple of hours later, I had an angry boyfriend in my bedroom telling me that I was an asshole, not the word he used actually, and that Max didn't even believe me. I then asked him why it mattered so much, since Max didn't believe me, but I think he had had one too many drinks because he couldn't answer me and went to sleep on the couch. It's been a week now and we've been giving each other the silent treatment. Max has come over for a couple of nights, sitting on the couch and watching football with Sam and giving me a similar stink eye, but I've just left them to it and have moved into the guest room, partially to avoid Sam, partially to stop him from letting Max sleep here. So yeah, I'm typing this on day 5 of the Cold War, from the guest bedroom, while my boyfriend is sleeping in our bed still angry at me for jeopardizing his friendship. Update 1. Well, for everyone who thought they might be sleeping together, you were right, I caught them fucking and sucking in our living room. Just kidding, but that would probably be funnier than this update is going to be lol. So, I'm still here, in the guest room, using Reddit as my only means of escape from my depressing reality, but for everyone who warned me that Sam would probably cave and let Max move in eventually. Yeah, he did, and it only took one day since my previous post. They are not sharing a bed, yet lol, Max has parked himself on our couch and shoved his stuff inside what used to be our bedroom. I was working from home this afternoon when the two of them started moving in, so I was able to grab everything and lock it in the guest room with me, barricade, actually. Sam texted me asking me to talk to them over dinner, probably about future living arrangements since it's clear what is inevitable here, but I just told him that I was coming down with a flu and should be avoided. Even though it's annoying having to talk so nicely to him, I still have to live here for 2 weeks more before I can escape, so I'm trying to act as normal as possible. I'm really lucky that one of my friends is coming back from her work abroad in about 2 weeks, since her parents have arranged an apartment for her to move into and she's invited me to stay with her there until I can find somewhere else. It's been so difficult for me while she's been gone since she was basically my only friend in this city who wasn't also friends with Sam and Max. Speaking to her, even if it's the middle of the night where she is and she has no reception, has opened my eyes to how quickly I need to get out of both this relationship and this building. Girls out there, talk to your friends, they're seriously the biggest blessing you'll ever get. So yeah, if anyone has any advice to make these 2 weeks pass a little quicker, it would be appreciated. I think I'm still a devil woman in both their eyes, and our mutual friends are somehow taking Sam's side. I don't know if he spun them a different story, or it's just the fact that they were all his friends first, or even the fact that he's the baby of the group. Yeah. How did I not see that this was a red flag? But at this point it doesn't even matter anymore. Update 2. The sun has just come out. Metaphorically speaking, I still live in the UK, and I've been inspired to write this mini update to tell everyone all the petty things I have been doing while I wait for my best friend to come back from abroad so that we can move in together. For everyone wondering about it, I have amazing news. Her parents have doubled down on helping me and are trying to speed up the apartment stuff so that there's a chance to start moving my stuff in even earlier. Yippee. As for the update, I thought I'd keep coming back to this post and adding to it every time I did something mildly petty. I know I said in my last post that I was going to live quietly so that Sam wouldn't kick me out, but some really amazing people messaged me to advise that I blackmail him into letting me stay until the end of the month by threatening to inform the landlord of Max's illegal tenancy. Smile, how fun is that? Without further ado, here is the list with the dates attached. Hopefully I'll keep coming back to it and editing it, and we'll try to credit the Reddit users who advised me. Smiles 23rd/24th of September 2024, had a lock installed on the guest bedroom. Thank you ab090424 and parking_at_3123, put all the stuff I bought in the guest bedroom, such as the toaster, coffee machine, and all my plants, thanks to Better Turnover 2783, called my male coworker over to install said lock. He's gay but Sam doesn't need to know that, and slightly dressed up while he was over. Thanks Mommy Kraken for the inspiration, bought 2 packets of shrimp. IYKYK, thank you Pride of Cape Town, Dragdwe, Minimum Wishbone 4218 and Sarjacom. Cleared a specific shelf for me in the fridge and the bathroom cabinet, started labeling all my things really passive aggressively. Thank you Neat Pen 6522. Have not bought glitter yet because I'm so accident prone I can't ensure that it won't get all over me first, but trust when I say that there are plans in motion on this front. Thank you Sarjacom and Old Tadpole 6050, 25th/26th of September 2024. When I left for work I kept my laptop open and playing Baby Shark over and over again. Thanks for the inspo, Zai Foraj. It was annoying for the small amount of time I had to hear it leaving and then coming back, and I had several missed calls and texts from Max asking me to please do something about it. Nothing from Sam, annoyingly, but I guess he is more of a quiet anger while Max is loud. I baked. Still not so confident in my ability to cook steak, sorry Pristine Payment and Puzzlehead B4361, but I've always made a good lemon drizzle. I decided to use vanilla extract and white chocolate in the drizzle to make it smell better. Was too sweet for me but everyone at work liked it. Reaction? Max asked D if any was left, and I told him I had taken it into work since I wasn't fond of it. He laughed, but Sam quite literally glowered at me, which made me feel very smug. I also decided to start grinding my coffee out in the kitchen. I moved it to my room after Reddit comments told me to take everything away, and I buy a really sweet and nutty blend so the smell is divine. I'm a bit worried with how amazing the apartment smelled today that I may have accidentally made the living situation a little nicer for them, but I think that it will start working really well once I leave. It'll make it more noticeable for them. Like Pavlov's dog? Sorry if there's anyone I forgot to thank. I'm totally swamped with comments and I'm trying my best to reply to all of them. I'll update more tomorrow if there's anything to say, but feel free to comment more suggestions on petty revenge I can take as I begin moving out. Thanks Reddit, promise I'll keep feeding you well. Edit, guys I made stir fry with the shrimp, oh my god I'm not going to use them, please stop commenting telling me not to use them. I know. I'm sorry, I thought it was common sense to see that I wasn't going to create an illegal biohazard in a property owned by an innocent landlord. Update 3. So, Sam has always been a very conflict avoidant person. I've never actually seen him get angry at anyone, or if he does he's more often just frustrated in the moment and then apologizes. This is probably why in my first post I was almost convinced I was the since he was genuinely quite upset with me, which is something very rare in our relationship. I've always felt like we don't argue a lot because Sam was too forgiving, or spineless. I only realized that I still had the same mindset as my friends, that Sam was too forgiving and always a victim, when talking to my friend Daisy, 24F, the one who is letting me move in with her 3. Regardless of all that, I've always felt slightly guilty because Sam is genuinely a very sweet person who isn't very good at getting angry or holding grudges or anything like that. But then for a couple of days this past week he has felt like an entirely different person. I don't know if it's anger or resentment, or some secret third option, but he's been so quiet. I know I said in previous updates that he was acting civil, as though nothing had happened and that he was in denial about the breakup, but I think the denial stage has ended and the anger has begun. Today and yesterday he's gone back to acting normal, but I can't shake the weird feeling that I have, so I'm pretty sure that both our mental states are quickly degrading. First and foremost, please nobody panic, I am safe. I have a lock on my door and a support network checking in with me every few hours. However, since everyone has known Sam for years, and like me, they've never seen him like this before, it's really difficult to figure out what to expect from him. If anyone needs examples of the strange behavior, it's mainly just glaring at me whenever he sees me and stonewalling me, but I've also started to notice some of my things go missing. It could be from hastily moving them to my friend's parents' house, but a lot of them are sentimental items, so it's hard not to point the finger at the embodiment of a dark cloud that's just looming around the apartment. I'd quiet's freaking me out so much, but maybe because it feels like a switch has flipped suddenly. I also feel like I'm the one being weird, though, because isn't this what I wanted? I literally played Baby Shark on my laptop all day today while I was at work, and while Max called and texted me asking me to turn it off, I heard nothing from Sam. It was also a male coworker of mine who installed the lock on my door, so yeah, I haven't exactly been acting kindly. I almost feel like a schoolboy pulling on a girl's pigtails for attention right now, but I feel so unsettled to have no verbal reaction, so I feel like a bit of an idiot. Ike, of course he's going to be angry if I do all this petty stuff. What did I expect? I still don't feel unsafe, but I think maybe my mental health has just hit a breaking point and I can no longer pretend that it all doesn't get to me. It's weirder still that Max seems to agree with me about Sam's odd behavior. Two people who have hated each other for years have suddenly been united somehow by the one they care about, so maybe that's a bit of a silver lining. Today, after I came and turned off Baby Shark, Max knocked on my door and asked if anything else had happened with Sam. I told him no, and that the sudden change in his behavior had nothing to do with me directly, just indirect pettiness. He just sighed and asked when I was moving out, saying Sam was only going to get worse the longer I stayed, to which I told him that it was none of his business if I stayed forever. A bit childish of me, I know, but it's so annoying for Max to try and take on the mediator role since that's usually Sam. He just sighed again and asked me not to play Baby Shark, that I shouldn't make him suffer for being in the middle of mine and Sam's issues, which I thought was very presumptuous of him considering how the fight started, but whatever. I even started to feel, later on that night, very grateful that Max was here, purely because of how strange Sam was making me feel. So yeah, itching to get out and feeling not only guilty but frustrated that even if he's angered by my actions he still won't talk to me. Nothing I'm doing or feeling is rational, I know, but I feel like anyone who has been through a relationship breakup after 2 years might empathize with me. If you're reading this and you have any advice for how to get through not only losing your partner but feeling like you wasted a massive portion of your life on them? Another thing to point out in my defense is that Sam was acting strange before the Baby Shark incident. I played it on my laptop in my locked bedroom while I went to work, so about 8 hours, and he wasn't even home when I had my coworker install the lock on my door, though maybe Max twisted that story? Can I possibly believe that it was me baking lemon drizzle and not giving them any was his breaking point, or did he just then suddenly realize it was over? Am I a bad person for feeling safe with Max? Please nobody comment any incel things like how my female hormones are telling me to side with the alpha male or anything like that. I'll seriously die from cringing. I just need some reassurance that given the circumstances, the fact that me and Max are suddenly getting on a little better doesn't mean that I'm somehow betraying Sam, even though we're pretty much broken up, and that I have no obligation to check in with Sam about his behavior. The good news is that Daisy's parents have been moving out my stuff over the last week, and now only the big things remain. If the situation gets too weird, I'm just going to cut my losses and sleep in Daisy's old room in her parents' house, but hopefully I can wait a couple more days. That's right guys, Daisy's moved her flight and the apartment is all sorted. I'll be moving in almost a week sooner than I thought I would. Only a few days more in this hellhole. Maybe it's this knowledge that has made the apartment unbearable, just being so close to freedom yet not quite there yet? Who cares? My next update will be as a free woman, can you believe it? I'm so grateful for my surrogate family out here, and that they're taking this messy breakup so seriously. If you think the Reddit posts are paranoid, you guys should meet Daisy's parents. BC tell me why I'm the ones reassuring them all the time? Anyways, that's all the information I wanted to share with you guys. Sorry that it's low-key a mental breakdown full of paranoia and insane behavior. I'm not as mentally strong or mature as I thought I was, and I accept that. Thank you again, Reddit. I hope you're all keeping well and know that I'm so very grateful for all your help and support. Update 4. As for people commenting to inform me that what I've done is an asshole move, yeah. I know that's the point. It's not possible to be petty without being an asshole, that's quite literally the whole point. There's such conflicting advice that I'm tempted to just side with the people being polite to me, since most of the people calling me a psycho bitch don't seem to know the full story, or care. Sorry for elongating the post, but it's so much worse to receive hate comments for being misunderstood than for things you actually did. Thanks to everyone else who commented either in support or against my actions who were respectful and clear. I genuinely appreciate it and it's helped me figure out what I want to do next. We'll update tomorrow _ notable comments. Yeah, I'm NGL. This is maybe one of those times where listening to Reddit was a bit of a hasty move. It's one thing for someone on the internet to tell you to do something petty, it's another thing to follow through. I think I was just tired of feeling like a victim. I wanted to do something strong and bold and petty because otherwise I'm just the ex-GF who has been kicked to the side by her scumbag BF and what? Sat there and taken it? Done nothing? I genuinely feel like I'm going insane in this little guest bedroom and I need to get out. To be honest, I think this situation went from NTA to ESH. You are too old to be playing games. You're not 14. What is think has happened is this. 1. STBXBF hates confrontation, used you as excuse for friend not to move in, he's the a-hole. 2. Friend harasses you and STBXBF does not fess up or defend you, he's the a-hole. 3. STBXBF moves in friend, he's the a-hole. 4. Both of you stop communicating, esh. 5. You start to be rude, he pretends nothing happened, esh. 6. You plot petty revenge, even seeking out suggestions, you starting to get obsessed, so stepping in our territory. 7. You have a double agent in friend group who you are conspiring with, yet still zero communication with STBXBF, you are stepping more in our territory. 8. STBXBF has noticed you may be moving yet no one still communicating, esh. 9. You state you moved important documents and valuables, yet seem to think sentimental items, which I would consider valuables, are missing, yet you don't know if you moved it or if STBXBF did. You are getting in your own head wrapped up in this game and drifting more into our territory. I highly recommend you put your big girl pants on, tell your STBXBF you need to speak privately, either at apartment or in public place, and once and for all communicate. Tell him your relationship is over and why, be adult about it, confirm you are indeed moving and when the plan is, and make it clear that you are fully aware of the half-truths he told his friend group, and that if he can't say anything nice then keep his mouth shut because you have evidence of the truth and not afraid restore/defend your reputation because you will not put up with additional abuse like you already did with his friend. I think your STBXBF's whole personality change is because neither one of you are acting like adults and communicating. He hates confrontation but also seems very stubborn and is getting in his own head. He knows he messed up but is too much of an a-hole to suck it up and try and resolve. You are no better as you won't communicate and are wrapped up in thinking about putting shrimp in curtain rods and glitter in pockets, so now you're in your mind and projecting intent in his actions or inactions. I'm sure he is doing the same to you. Every action of either of you has a reaction. He acts like nothing happened, you go silent. You start moving all your stuff into guest room and put a lock on it, by a guy your STBXBF hears secondhand about and you all but admit you wanted him jealous, so he works to turn his friends again, STU. And so on. I definitely want to address a couple of points here. Not BC I think I'm completely blameless, but BC I think there are some points that misrepresent the situation as a whole. You'll probably read this and say that I'm still slightly an asshole, and I'll accept that, don't worry. I don't believe that I ever stopped communicating with Sam, but obviously I'm very biased here. After he shouted at me about telling Max and refused to speak to me that night or the morning after, I became incredibly discouraged. When I said that he went back to normal after he moved Max, and it doesn't mean that he magically became open to the conversation I wanted to have, i.e., the Max situation, just that he stopped ignoring and snapping at me. Because of how negatively he reacted when I tried to communicate with him about the core of our issues, I stopped trying, because I didn't want to exacerbate an already tense situation. So, I don't know if I accept that I'm an I in this respect necessarily. BC I made genuine efforts to reach out to him and discuss this, but maybe I am slightly BC I gave up pretty easily after seeing his reactions. I'm also not sure that you can say I'm being rude by either A, bringing up what happened when he tried to act normal, or B, ignoring him entirely. I haven't said a rude word to Sam's face, only accused him of not putting me first or respecting me when I've tried to talk to him. 6/7 I think are valid, and if I'm honest about my emotions, I did want to be an asshole to them because I felt like I had been too much of a pushover or doormat. I know it doesn't excuse the actions, but I just want people to know that I didn't do petty things. BC I ignorantly thought that they were the right thing, but rather BC I felt if I did nothing I wouldn't standing up for myself. Your comments have helped me realize that I was wrong about that, and that I was actually not in a bad position before, just thinking badly of myself. I text Sam to inform him that I would be moving out, but I did snap at Max and tell him to mind his business. You're right. I was directing my anger at the wrong person, and I've since messaged him to apologize. This comment pretty much sums up what happened. Yeah, I think I've been playing mind games on myself without Sam or Max even needing to, and I'll accept that it makes me an asshole.